So they've put out 2 episodes of Secret Invasion. And I've watched them both. And I am interested to see where this goes. But I have some reservations. I don't know if I'm not getting what I expected. Honestly, I'm not even sure that I know what I was expecting. I have a passing knowledge of the Secret Invasion storyline from the comics. I didn't read it, so I don't have details. I have a general idea of what happened, obviously, but again, I did not read that line myself. I'm not sure what direction they're going to take this in. Is Gavik really the guy in charge? Or is Talos secretly in charge and pulling the strings? I don't know. Little things, certain people that we know are, they revealed to us are Skrulls. How long have they been Skrulls? How long was Everett Ross a Skrull? How long has Nick Fury's wife been a Skrull? I didn't even know Nick had a wife. That was a big reveal at the end of episode 2. The idea that Nick had a wife at all, was not something that had ever been alluded to in the past at all. Is Rhodey a Skrull? Because I kind of think that he is. That conversation in the diner, or the restaurant rather, between Nick Fury and Rhodey, about halfway through or 3/4 of the way through episode 2, there's several things in that video that are in that conversation that had me, kind of scratching my head. And one of which is when did Nick Fury start, Nick seems to be I don't know if it was just a manipulation tactic or whatnot, but he was really leaning in heavy on race. Trying to appeal to Rhodey because they're both black men. And now, bear with me, I've never read a comic where Nick was black. All the comics I read that had Nick Fury in them were from before they made that change, before the Ultimates universe. So I don't know if referencing his race is something that Nick Fury does a lot in the Ultimates universe. I have no idea. But it's not something that we've seen Nick do prior to this show. Certainly not as heavy-handedly as he did in this show. So I wonder if it was just him trying to essentially manipulate Rhodey. I do not know. Kind of insulting to Rhodey's intelligence that he would think he'd be that easily manipulated. But Rhodey's reaction actually really makes me question, and it's probably designed to make me question it. Is Rhodey a Skrull? Is this, is the reason it was Rhodey's reaction as, visceral as it was, and did he enjoy it as much as he did? Because he's not really Rhodey at all. He's a Skrull. And there's so many things here. So going back to Everett Ross. Okay, so how long's he been a Skrull? Okay, he's obviously a Skrull for episode 1 of Secret Invasion. Okay. There's a good chance he was a Skrull for Wakanda Forever as well, which would explain why he was so quick to, turn his back on his own government and his own country in order to, fall in lockstep with what Wakanda wanted. As a government official, that's called treason. But in either case, he was, and I know he chalks it up to him. Sure, he's saving his life, but again, he had, in previous iterations, he had paid that debt. But speaking of Shuri saving his life, I don't think Ross was a Skrull for Black Panther, the first Black Panther movie. Because remember, Ross gets hurt, and they take him to Wakanda, and Shuri saves his life. With the advanced technology of the Wakandans, if he wasn't human, I would assume that they would be able to tell that, So, he's definitely wasn't a Skrull for Black Panther, and he definitely wasn't a Skrull for Captain America Civil War. But maybe from Wakanda Forever onward, he has been. And I know that it's probably part of the point is to make us ask all these questions and make us, wonder all these things and whatnot. That's, a huge point to this story. From what I've been told, that was one of the things that made the Secret Invasion storyline so much fun and interesting, is that, you never knew who was going to be and who wasn't. And, and that's all well and good, and they're trying to capture, as much of that as they can. And, of course, they're trying to do it within the confines of, where they are in the MCU, and also, without making it too big, because they're doing something here which is interesting, because on one hand they're dealing with the cosmos because the threat is alien, but this is also one of their street level type engagements. This is being set up very much as like a spy thriller type thing, and that's great. Like, there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. I don't know how many episodes of this they're doing, but after 2 episodes, I am less sure of everything than I was they're really trying to hype up this idea that Nick is a broken old man now. And I don't know. I mean, is he? Is he really a broken old man? Is it an act? Does he not know who to trust and he's trying to keep everybody, off their game? I have no idea. It'll be interesting to see how this pans out. So I'm definitely going to be continuing to watch. At this point, 2 episodes in, it is absolutely safe to say that I absolutely definitely have been left with more questions and more uncertainties than I had when I first hit play. And maybe that's what they're going for. Actually, that's probably what they're going for. But I will definitely be coming back at you with more thoughts on Secret Invasion later on in the series. I'm definitely interested to see where it goes and to see what kind of effect it has on the wider universe, because that's the thing about this line in the comics is, and again, I didn't read it, but I'm aware of how broad its strokes were and how far its reach was and how it touched every single line that Marvel had going. It was a giant crossover. And I'm wondering what kind of role the Skrulls will play, moving forward. And it's not like it's just a handful of them. Talos told Fury that there's 1 million Skrulls on the planet. And that is a problem, like that's a lot of Skrulls, and what Nick said to Talos when Talos said he wanted Skrulls and humans to live peacefully and coexist, what Nick said, it's very true. He told him that humans can't even coexist with each other. And, to a large degree, it's true. I mean, on an individual level, we can. When you take 2 individuals, who are not batshit crazy, and you put them in a room, odds are they can reach some sort of impasse. But when you start looking at us as groups, that's when it becomes painfully obvious that while we may be able to connect in a intimate setting, once you get outside and you start talking about people en masse, no, we can't coexist with each other. We really can't. And this idea that revealing to the populace that there are extraterrestrials would result in anything other than panic, violence, and hatred is, well, it's just not accurate. That is exactly how humans would respond. It is, So, like I said, it'll be interesting to see where this goes. But, until next time, I am Ken Carnage, and always remember that carnage is right around